Hi guys, my name is Melody and thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to talk a wee bit about my vegetarianism and how that affected my thyroid disorder that I have. First of all, I'll go on and tell you about how I found out I had a thyroid disorder, and then I'll go and talk about me being a vegetarian, as now it has been 2 years since I stopped eating meat. And to be honest, it was the best thing that I did for myself as a person with my health and everything else. So my thyroid disorder started back, I think it was about 4 years ago. I was working at a call center in higher technical support as a what they termed as a Jedi. So some of you might know what call center that was. Some of you may not, but I'm not going to say here. But I was in meetings learning about different things with what we need to do in higher technical support to support our products, broadband, telephone, that sort of thing. And I would just fall asleep. Now, I had fell asleep even though I had about 8 hours of sleep. I wasn't tired, but I couldn't stop myself from falling asleep. It was like a kind of narcolepsy sort of thing going on, and I would just fall asleep. Also, I would eat food and I'd be sick to my stomach pretty much immediately once I ate food. So my boss thought I didn't want to be there because I kept falling asleep, and it wasn't that. I ended up going to the doctor and was taking a test for issues with food problems, maybe like gastroenteritis or any food allergies or anything like that. And it came back as my thyroid was off. At that point, I had been told I had Hashimoto's disease, which is hypothyroidism. That slows down your metabolism, makes you gain a lot of weight, which I had at the time. I can't remember what size I was, but maybe like 16 stone or something like that. I don't know what that is in pounds. I'm sorry, but the conversion is 1 stone to 14 pounds. So I got diagnosed with that and started taking medication for my thyroid. And it seemed to be working a bit, so I would go in and get tested. It was still low, it was still constant. And then about a year later, I found that I was shaking constantly. I could not stop shaking. I was losing weight at about 10 pounds a week as well. And I could not get food quick enough, but I kept losing weight and I kept shaking, and I just couldn't stop. Like my legs, everything would just shake constantly. Like I had the rattles, or I'm not going to say what that is, to be honest. So what happened was I ended up going back to the doctor because it didn't matter what sort of exertion I did. My heart rate was very elevated. My blood pressure was elevated as well, and any exertion walking around would cause my heart rate just to go like I had run like 2 miles very quickly. I ended up going back to my doctor after 3 months of this, and what had happened is my Hashimoto's had switched to hyperthyroidism, which is Graves' disease. I saw a specialist where they put me on different medication. Also, they advised that they only see about 2 to 3 people a year that this happens to, so it's not a common thing. Yay, I am very uncommon, which, to be honest, I thought I was anyway, so it's fine. So I started taking that medication, and what that medication wants to do is it wants to slow down your metabolism again. So the other medication I was taking before that was to try to even it out and get it back up to where it would be stable and I wouldn't be gaining or losing anyway. But this medication tries to slow the metabolism back down. So my thyroid disease, those are autoimmune disease. So it means that my body is fighting against my thyroid, to be honest. So what I decided to do, I think about 2 years ago, because I was getting a bit off of the medication, but I also wanted to see ways in which to get healthy, because what had happened was, as well, with the hyperthyroidism, when they put me on the medication, I started to gain weight again, and it became impossible to lose weight. It started to even out, however it was still a bit odd, and I'm still had to see my specialist, which the specialist does, I think she does thyroid diseases and diabetes. I think that's what it is. I can't remember what it's called. But, oh, endocrinologist, that's it. Sorry. There we go. I'm more of a history buff. I remember those things better than that. So, yeah. So I went and saw my endocrinologist, and had a word with her and asked her if there was any ways of maybe food getting my levels back together, and there are some things in food that they think that may cause thyroidism, such as iodine in processed food, meats, that could do that. So what I decided to do is I decided that I would try to stop eating meat altogether to see if that helped and see if I could get in remission, because this is not something that is curable in the long term, but it is something that is manageable. So about a year ago, I stopped eating, or 2 years ago, I stopped eating meat. Which was easier. I had tried to be a vegetarian before, but it just never stuck because I was a horrible vegetarian. So basically, if you wanted chips and cheese, then that would be the case of what was going on. And that's pretty much all I ate was junk food, which was vegetarian junk food. So this time I did my research, and I started eating vegetarian meals. I went back to a slimming program. I started losing weight. And a year after that, I went back to I see her every 6 months. So I saw her that 6 months, then the next 6 months, and I was still on the medication. So she decided, after a year, she decided to take me off the medication. Because my thyroid seemed to have leveled out, but they need to monitor you for a year to make sure that you are still in remission. So I went into remission after doing vegetarianism for about a year. So I have seen so I have maintained my vegetarianism. However, I'm going to explain to you, because everybody asks me this, is it ethical as well? So some parts of it is ethical. However, my family ate meat as well, but we usually try to source like free range, locally sourced products, that sort of thing. However, I wouldn't eat my dog, so that would be like the thing as well. But to be honest, I think like if you're ethically sourcing food, then that is up to you. It's your own ethical problem to make sure that. What my concern is that if I go back to eat meat, that I get what is in the meat, and it causes me to go back into the state that I was in, which I cannot live at that point, because both the hyper and hypo make you extremely tired. The hyper, because you're constantly feeling like you have done a marathon every single day. The hypo, because it slows down the metabolism so much that you can't function. So it was tiredness on a different level. I don't mind that my child still eats meat. It's fine. My boy is 9 years old. That's his own choice. If he wants to eventually go vegetarian or pescatarian, then that's absolutely fine. Both my daughter and my husband are both pescatarian. And my daughter, who turned 15 last week, is lactose intolerant. So a lot of the things that we have to get for her is vegan type food because she cannot have any lactose in her food. We found that out a few weeks ago because she constantly gets ill when she has any sort of dairy products. Now, I still eat dairy products because I am concerned about my calcium intake. I do take some vitamins as well, calcium and D3 and what is it? Vitamin C, I think it is, tablets, because I want to keep my immune system up because, like I said, this is autoimmune disorder and I have the potential of getting very sick very quickly. I know this video is all over the place because I rattle on about, and to be honest, I don't write anything down, so it's all in my head. Yeah, so we do tend to buy stuff that's dairy-free, and for my child, though I do eat eggs and I do eat dairy. If I am going out to a restaurant that does vegetarian meals, I'm not going to ask them if they've cooked it on the same place as they've cooked meat because, to be honest, I cook meat where I cook my vegetarian stuff for my son. That's not my real concern. My concern is more the health aspect. I do, Lindsay, I do have a choice. Like I do try to buy ethically sourced makeup and things like that, but I do wear leather. I'm not a vegan by any means. This is mostly for health reasons that I have gone to vegetarianism. I find that most of the food now is really, really good in dietary terms, and I am getting all my nutrients. I have been losing weight. I have lost quite a bit of weight since I started being a vegetarian and started paying more attention to the health aspects of the food that I'm eating. I don't say that vegetarianism is for everybody, but is certainly a point for me, and it's a choice that I had made in myself. One day I hope to own chickens. However, my husband says that's too difficult because you've got to go take care of them and things like that. But I kind of want those furry chickens so that I can get fresh eggs and things like that, because that is one of my sources of protein is eggs, obviously, beans, lentils, things like that. That's what I eat on a regular basis. I am on a diet that sends me pre-packed meals. That is more for convenience sake because I don't have the time to sit down and cook a meal all the time or do that. And also I need portion control because I do have issues with food, to be honest. But I don't know if this helps anyone else, but I found out that as somebody who has a weird thyroid disease, that are weird problems with their thyroid, that it goes hypo, then it goes hyper, that this has helped me no end. I feel much healthier, I feel much more awake, I have more energy. Vegetarianism and my thyroid disorder has actually helped me so much in the long run. It's something that I would say is really good and beneficial to me. However, this is a personal choice and it is up to you and up to your body and how that you want to deal with that. If you want to go vegetarian for ethical reasons, that's great, because to be honest, we are saving the environment by doing that. However, we're using more fruits and vegetables, which can have a higher carbon footprint for them being over there. Wow, this has become a very out there sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave all the bloopers and me rambling in this. I hope you enjoy my talking about my vegetarianism and my thyroid disorder. If you want to know anything more in depth about it, just let me know, and I can do some actual research to make sure that you're aware. But like I said, to be honest, it's becoming easier to be a vegetarian in the last few years than it has been in the past. I have a lot more options of what I can eat, and it has caused my health to get better. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe, I guess ring the bell. I've got about 28 subscribers, I think. I don't know. Not that many, but if you want to help me out, then share it. I appreciate everything that the NHS has done for me and helping me with my disease, and I have had a great last 2 years as being a vegetarian, and no, I don't miss meat. My thyroid is feeling much better, and I'm glad to say that I am currently in remission. However, this may change, and I will update you in due course. I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye!